Hi everyone, and welcome to the opening of THS Armada. So, I'm the project manager of the fair this year. My name is Josephine, and I'm delighted to be standing here in front of you today. So yeah, what's going to happen today? What tomorrow? So just by being here, you're giving yourself the best opportunity in order to shape your future. Now you can, yeah, so today and tomorrow we are going to have the fair and we're going to connect you together with students. And you're going to get a huge advance for that. If you are in the early stage of your studies, I must say welcome, so nice to find you here. Take this opportunity to get excited and to get some inspiration for your studies. You still have a quite long way to go, but it's never too early to start learning how to connect with companies and what you actually want to say. Practice makes perfect. But it's also a good time to look for a mentor, look for some inspiration in order to, find that in the heavy time of these studies, it's good to have something to lean back on. And if you are in the middle of your studies, yes, this is the best time to look for part-time jobs and, see what you can do during the time you actually are studies. Currently, we have 188 jobs open for the fair, so make sure to check those out. And there are going to be different times of both internships and summer jobs and also part-time jobs. For the students that are in the end of your studies, yes, high time to get those master theses and get those graduation jobs. We have a lot of those as well. So if you have not found your master thesis yet, well, you're in luck. So make sure to check them out and talk to the companies that you wanna do your master thesis with. If they don't have an open position for you, I suggest you come with a suggestion for them. And if you have your master thesis in hand, you still want a job when you're graduating. So talk to them anyway. It's never too late to actually change your path and maybe get interested in something else or something new. And starting to see the finish line of why you do what you actually do. When you log into the platform, you're going to be shown 83 different companies from all different kinds of sectors, all represented at KTH. Make sure to check them out, all of them. The companies that you think you are interested in could not actually be the one you've seen before. We have both small companies and we have large companies that you've seen before. So use the tags to see what areas there could be, what areas are yours. I also want to take the time to thank our partners for this year. This year we have 5 partners. ABB, we have Futurize, Siemens Energy, SSSB, and Ericsson. So a huge thank you for teaming up with us, and this fair could not have been possible without you. Other tips for the fair is a new feature actually. It's called breakout rooms. So when you take the best parts of a physical fair and a virtual fair, you need to find, so the virtual fair it's quite high effort. You need to chat with all the companies, but that's not for everyone. But that's the easiest way to connect with them. But if you are more like a laid-back person and don't really want to put that much effort into it, use the breakout rooms to try to listen to them, because that's perfect for you if you are a eavesdropping type of person. Yes, and with those words, I would like to pronounce the fair of THS Armada officially open. And now we're going to show you the schedule of the day, so what you actually have to look forward to. Okay. So the live schedule is going to show us all the different types of live presentations we have for today. I believe we have 7 live presentations for today and 7 more tomorrow. And in between those live presentations, we are going to have small things from Armada Studio, where I'm standing right now. It's going to be everything in between companies talking, but also some fun stuff, and we're going to talk about our core values. But now, heading over to the schedule.
All right, everybody. Now the time has come. We will leave the word to our first exhibitor, Infinera, at 10:15. Enjoy the fair.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Infinera, for your presentation, and so sorry for the technical difficulties. We're moving on now to the next company presentation, which is our partner, Siemens Energy. So yeah, let's head on over there.
All right, welcome back to Armada Studio. I want to forward my thanks to Siemens Energy for their amazing presentation. Now we're moving on with a video that we have prepared and which was filmed in extreme circumstances that you're about to see. So, shall we move on with the video?
Hello everyone, my name is Arda.
And I'm Kenan.
So welcome to Kth campus. Today we will be showing you the most useful buildings that you can study, talk with your friends, work with your friends. So let's go around Kth campus.
Are you ready? Let's get on board.
Let's go.
Here we are at the main building of Kth. Here you can see classrooms of E, and here there are classroom of D. You can come here, study inside the classrooms, and when the weather is really good, there's benches over there in the avenue here, so you can take your tea or coffee and like enjoy the weather with your friends. And then I will leave the word to Arda, and let's see where he is right now.
Welcome to Nimble, or you can also call it as Numble. So as you can see, we have lots of microwaves so that you can heat your food. And we have lots of study places so that by studying you can pass your exams. And the best thing is that after your exams you can just come here and party. So I'm passing it to Kenan.
Thank you, Arda. Here we are by the Kth Library, as you can see behind me. This place is really important for students, especially in the exam period. And if you want to have a place to study, then you should come here a bit earlier in the morning, otherwise you will be having zero chance to find a study place. And after that, let's see where Arda is.
So, we are right next to the V building right now, as you can see. And around 5 or 6 p.m. all the courses are finished, so that you can just find the empty classroom and just have a cozy study environment if you like to continue to study, of course. And as you can see, we also have an M chapter place here, so greetings to M chapter from here. And so we can also check U building. So shall we go? Let's go. Now we are in the U building. Oh, actually I don't need it anymore. Okay. So that's one of my favorite places in Kth campus because they have lots of tables to study on and also lots of beautiful study rooms. But I would recommend you to come as early as possible because they are just full every time. So, and we also have a terrace in that building so that you can go upstairs and have some fresh air, but you should be careful about that. The weather is nice.
Here we are by Kth Hallen. This is the sports hall in Kth, and this is the many students' favorite place in the campus. If you want to pump up your muscles in between the lectures, don't forget to come by here. They also have some group activities such as basketball sessions or yoga training. So if you're up to those kind of activities, then this is the place for you to be.
So now we are at the famous place called Cafes. So you can just visit here in lunchtime to have some beautiful fikas or just have some study breaks. Just be careful about the queue, it can be sometimes really long. Right now I'm in the Q building. It's one of the most important buildings in Kth because students from various fields and chapters are coming here to take their courses, and also there are lots of common study areas that they can study with their friends. Within the Q building there's also a restaurant called Taste, so that you can just have a lunch break there and enjoy your time with your friends. Now I am joining to Kenan. Hello, now I am back with Kenan.
Hello Ara, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Kenan.
Now we're back by Nimble again, where Armada's physical complement is taking place, and I hope everyone who's watching this live streaming are having an amazing Career Fair Day experience.
That's all from us for now. Thanks for coming to fair.
right, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know that we didn't cover all the amazing places that we have at main campus, but among you, if we have any recommendations, you're very welcome to mention them on the chat, so maybe junior students or freshmen can get to know about them, right? It's always nice to discover new places. Well, actually the main campus building and its garden called Borey Garden was built between 1914 and 1917, and its plans were drawn by the architect Erik Lallarstedt. Throughout the years, the main campus area was extended more and more, and right now it's so big that we can even compare with Gamla Stan. And nowadays, KTH, all the campuses included, they house a bunch of research labs, many companies from startup to relatively small-sized ones, and many amazing students and researchers alongside together working for the same goal, for a better future. I myself started my studies in 2018 at Mechanical Chapter, and I can almost hear the questions coming, oh, isn't that so challenging to walk from subway exit to M Chapter building whenever I have the lecture? I mean, yeah, it's the struggle of all the M Chapter students, but maybe it's not the biggest morning motivation for us to get ourselves from the bed, especially if we're going to an 8 a.m. lecture, right, in the morning. But nevertheless, it is also a good thing in a way that we can get the chance of emptying our minds from stress and prepare better mentally to the lecture that we're going to. So it depends a little bit from where you're looking at to this, right? All right, now next on the line we have SSAB company presentation. The presentation, so don't get lost anywhere. Grab yourself a coffee and tea and prepare for it. This was Kenan Güler speaking, and alongside my dear colleague Anna Ekkernes, who is monitoring all this amazing show behind the screen. Until next time we see you, enjoy the fair.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Armada Studio. We figured since we have a couple of minutes before the next presentation, we were going to show you a short video of what Armada is all about. So here we go.
This is Armada speaking. Welcome to KTH. You will hear a lot about us throughout your time here. Let us kickstart it for you right now. But first, we want to demonstrate how Armada can have a drastic impact on your life at KTH. This is Sarah and Arda. Sarah is participating in all the Armada career fairs, while Arda doesn't even know what Armada is. They are going to race each other, a race bigger than our World Championships and Olympics combined. Buckle up, because the race for a bright future is about to start. Ready, set, go! As you can see, Armada got Sarah's back, and she is off to a really good start. Arda, on the other hand, is all on his own, and he's struggling to keep up with her. That Armada thing really does help a lot. But what is it, really? Maybe the head of Armada, Josephine, can sort it out for us.
THS Armada is Scandinavian's largest student-driven career fair. It was founded in 1981, which makes this year the 40-year anniversary. The fair takes place in November at KTH campus, and we host more than 150 companies. This year, the fair takes place both physically and virtually, giving you the best chance to meet your dream employee. Regardless in what year you are studying, I truly recommend you to visit the fair. It will get you a feeling of the engineering industry and also the chance to talk to your future employee.
Thank you, Josephine. Good luck with coordinating this year's Armada. Now, let's head back to Sarah and Arda and see how they are doing. Wow, Sarah is really taking a lead here and is shortly going to reach the finish line. But just 1 second, we forgot to mention the benefits of Armada. Let's hear about them from Hannah and Sarah.
What can you get out of Armada?
You can meet your future employer.
You get a lot of free stuff,
You can network.
and you might even figure out what an engineer actually does.
Together with Armada, you can shape your future.
Thank you, Hannah and Sarah. I will definitely make sure to visit Armada's career fair. Well then, let's check who is going to win this exciting race. Well done, Sarah, and congratulations on a bright future ahead of you. That was one epic race. And Arda, please don't be sad. You still have the chance of visiting this year's Armada and get to experience all it has to offer. Thank you all for watching. We wish you all the best with your experience at KTH. And don't forget to visit Armada. Check out our social medias to never miss out on everything we have to offer.
So, we hope you enjoyed that video and now have everything you need to know about Armada. Next up, we have a live presentation with one of our very own partners, SSAB, at 11:45. So we're going to send you over anytime soon. Yeah, thank you SSAB for a great presentation and thank you for being our partner. We will be back in Armada Studio at 12:15 with two very important guests from the Armada team, so stay tuned.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Armada Studio. Right now I have two very important guests together with me at Armada Studio from Armada. So please introduce yourselves to our audience.
Yes, so my name is Anna. I'm head of BRE Business Relations and Events, which is one of our 4 subgroups in Armada. And I have also been part of selling the Armada product to our companies this year.
Yeah, and my name is Leo. I'm head of sales this year, one of 4 actually, and we have been working with selling company spots, selling the Armada product and the virtual fair. Yeah.
That sounds very well. I have a question. Have you worked with sales before, or was it the first time that you stepped into this position?
Yeah. I have worked with sales before, selling a very different kind of product, selling tiles and bathrooms.
These shiny bathroom tiles. Yeah.
Shiny bathroom tiles,
right.
yes. So yeah, I have.
Yeah, I have
now
not.
Here you promote shiny future to the students, right? Actually.
Yes, shiny future.
Yeah,
yes.
we're selling shiny futures. That's
yes, but actually we are.
True.
Yeah.
It's nice. I've never worked in sales before. This is the first real sales job. I've had a lot of customer contact through for work and through previous years in Armada and so on, but never actually worked with sales as this year. Yeah.
All right, interesting. So, like, since you have no experience with sales before, how was your expectations before you get the role in Armada? What did you expect, and did Armada meet your expectations throughout the year?
Well, there is a very weird view of sales and salespeople that you should be a bit overbearing and so on, but it's really not about that. It's Armada has a very specific way of doing sales, and we focus on building long-term relationships. So it's very much about me and the person I'm talking about getting along well and formulating some sort of relationship, because we have something that's that the companies actually do need.
Yes.
They need to recruit, and they know that they need to be out there and be visible.
Totally.
So it's a very, very different thing, because we are helping them with an issue they have, and then we also get paid, and that's the only sales part, and so it's very different from what you might expect.
Interesting. And Anna, you said you have been worked with sales before. So how different was Armada in terms of sales?
Yeah, actually.
Experience?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think to answer that, I will follow up on Leo's point on that. What we're selling is really valuable for the companies, and if I compare them when I was selling bathrooms and when now, what am I selling? I'm selling spots on the fair to companies where they can come and meet you or me, KTH students. And the biggest difference is that I believe in this product. that it's really a really good thing and a really valuable thing, and then it's not hard to sell it actually when you believe it yourself.
And on that topic, it's so much more than just a fair spot, because we have the fair spots, the live presentations that you're watching and everything, but we are actually selling employer brand and relationships with students. So I think that makes it also a lot easier, because there is not just throwing away tiles and please get my tiles. It's
like hello, do you want the phone abonnement? What is sorry?
Right.
Yeah. Please change your
Classical.
change to us. No, that's not quite it.
But you both are students at KTH, right?
Yeah.
And like you actually have to kind of step out of student identity and like wear that professional suit when you do your operations.
The
So
professional
how do you feel?
suits.
Right, exactly. You both seem to be very professional actually right now. So how does it feel?
It's to be really truthful. It's sometimes a bit stressful, because the company people, they work during day hours when the classes are. So it means that for me it's okay, because I'm quite used to studying evenings. But you have to do that change. You have to do the Armada thing in the day and doing the company. The studies and so on.
Yes.
In the evening, that's one thing. Do you have any?
And then I guess you're asking how is it different from being a student and being then this salesperson and talking to the companies. And Leo mentioned earlier, we're building like relationships with these people, and what we're actually doing, we've been sitting in Zoom calls. We've not had physical calls. We're sitting with one person, talking to them. I have had calls for 1 hour even with some. And there I just actually have brought myself, and I feel like that is what works. And then that way I connect with that person, maybe we make a joke as well. So I don't really feel like I'm changing into like another role, really, I must say. But then, yes, the hours that Leo mentioned, and kind of also the answer rate that you should have, in my opinion at least, within a day. I have been like answering emails. That is quite a lot.
Yeah,
And,
I can imagine. Yeah, and it sounds like a lot of effort and time that you put into this actually, and you constitute actually a really crucial part of Armada by operating your role.
Yeah.
So we are really thankful for that.
Yeah, but you get something back as well, because I mean, I know you and I, because I did the calculations, because I'm greedy. I counted, and we both sold for like over 1 million kronor each, you and I. That's, I mean, that's something that you can later bring to your resume and so on, and it's also an incredible, like, for me, a personal achievement and something that I had as a goal, and then I did it, and now I feel proud I did it. So now I'm telling the whole world.
Yeah, well.
So it's both things.
Yeah, it has its own perks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. And this whole thing actually, like selling a product to company, like it sounds so like serious and difficult in the first place. So do you have any like tips for people who would like to sell something to a company at a professional level? So what was your strategy that you follow?
It is a good point. You always feel like, okay, it's so serious, and that's the mindset I had in the beginning. This is a serious like call or a serious meeting that I have. I need to be super prepared, and I need to follow these lines that I have prepared. Yeah. But after working with this, what works is connecting with that person and making a joke. And like, and why is that important? Well, it's important because the person I talk to is not the one who's actually going to decide if they will participate in the fair or not. Usually it's a group within the company that decides, should we go with Armada or not this year? Should we pay for Armada? And then I need to make that person excited who will pitch it forward to the team in the company. And if they're not excited, then the team is not going to buy it, and they're not going to be part of Armada. So really, I think a key ingredient is kind of getting the other person excited and connecting with them on a more...
One thing I actually learned from you, because I overheard one of your meetings, is that Anna has this wonderful ability to just step into a Zoom call and say hi and smile, and everybody's friends.
Oh.
That's like, I wish I had that superpower, but I
Oh.
don't. But I
Such a
learned
nice
to focus more on the person, as we said, and actually take some time. Make sure that in your call you have some time to ask what they do, why they do it, why they have chosen to come to that company, and then you have an easier transition to talk about, well, so what's your challenge to make others come to your company, to make others realize that, because they will realize that they have something in their chest that they want to get out to the world.
Of course.
And I am the person who can help them with that.
Yeah.
So then we start with the personal relationship, and we get a feel for each other, and there is a very nice transition into the fact that they can actually use our product and they need it.
Yeah.
So that would be my tips, to actually start with the person in front of you and make sure you have that. Yeah.
There's a mutual benefit for like both ourselves, Armada, and the companies.
Yeah.
Like this whole
Yeah,
Armada product.
yeah, of course. It's any sale that it should be that way.
And you make them to believe it, right? That it's also good for them.
Well,
to be
it's
part of
not
Armada,
about
right?
actually making them believe it, because if I didn't believe they needed it, I would have said so to them.
Yeah.
If I really felt like you don't need to be part of Armada, then I would have said so, because then we wouldn't need them, and it would not be a win at all.
Of course.
So usually it comes to term, okay, you have this need that you express to me, and I have this solution for you. So where can we meet and kind of tailor the solution to your company then?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Do you have anything to add, or?
No, it's just a general thing that I think no serious salesperson actually wants to sell something to someone who doesn't want it or need it or have any use for it, because that's when you get to be the annoying person that's calling about the what's it called,
about the phone subscriptions.
Yeah. No, but so we sell the stuff that the companies needs.
Yeah. And we have also like some amazing partners and some companies, they are willing to be at Armada every year, right? Because they know how good and big is Armada, and they have seen the benefits from previous years of Armada.
Yeah, and because we work on the long-term relationships, that we are going to contact them afterwards and say, well, hey, what's gone well and what's gone less so, and change the fare also according to the needs of the companies, of course.
Of course. Great. And then this year, this is the second year of the digital fair that we are having as Armada. So what was the challenge and learning outcomes from this year? What can you say about that?
Ooh.
That is a good question. I mean, I think the challenge again this year, as last year, is that companies don't come to us. Usually in Armada, you have not all of the companies. I'm not going to say not all of the companies, but there is a part of the exhibitors that would write to us, hello, I want to participate this year. Hello, I want to participate again. And these are our long-term relationships, right? But with the digital part, people are not as used to it. They're more hesitant and stuff.
Of course.
And then it becomes a little bit more difficult. You have to hunt them and also explain a whole new concept to them.
Yeah.
So that is, I think.
So I would agree to that actually. And also, I think one thing that has been easier is that we can actually have Zoom calls and and that's the normal thing.
Yeah.
So I can be here or be at home. So
Much more effective.
Yeah. Much more flexible for you guys actually.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a good job this year. Yeah.
Thank you.
So far.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
it is
much.
good.
Yeah.
Great. And anything else that you want to add?
Oh, I said
Let's
so much
conclude
things.
this
I could
interview.
talk about this an hour, but yeah.
Any wishes for our visitors?
Oh,
Or do you want to thank our exhibitors, all of them?
Yeah, we have
Same time.
we have so many great exhibitors. So thank you all for coming here and watch the live presentations, chat with the companies. Yeah, that's what I can.
Great. And let's hope that this will be our last virtual fair, and it will be all physical from next year, right?
Yeah, I don't know which
I
one
don't
is
know
the
if I
best
agree
one,
with
but yeah, we'll see what next year brings us.
Yeah. All right, everybody. This was Armada Studio speaking. I had Leo and Anna with me, and my name is Ken Angular. And right now we will continue with company presentation, Scania. Get yourself a coffee or tea, and be right here. And until next time, stay tuned. Enjoy the fair.
great live presentation. We are back here in Armada Studio with our core values team. So we at Armada have 2 core values, sustainability and diversity, and they are going to talk about what they are and what we do and who they are and what we're doing here at the fair today. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Maybe just introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Saga and I'm Head of Sustainability.
Hi, I'm Rohini Sri Vaishnavi. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator.
Hello, I'm Anastasia. I'm Head of Diversity.
Hello, I'm Anisha and I'm a Diversity Coordinator.
Yeah, you can see we have a great team. So yeah, sustainability is very important for us at Armada, and we do lots of stuff to make sure that our fair is as sustainable as possible. One of the main things that we do is that we rank all of the companies that are in the fair. So all of the companies that you see today that have presentations, we have actually evaluated. And to do that, we use our Armada Sustainability Index. And this year, we've actually gotten great help to develop it to become even better from our partner GoKind. And they are super cool, so please check them out if you have the time. So yeah, in our index, what we do is we look if the companies are certified according to the ISO certification, if they use the GRI reporting initiative guidelines for their sustainability reporting. We also look if they have set science-based targets and if they have set really ambitious science-based targets, because there are different ambition levels that you can use. We also look at a bit softer things like, do they talk about sustainability on their website? I mean, it doesn't tell you anything about how well they do sustainability, but it does tell you if they are interested in it and if they think that it's important. And we find that to be an important criteria to evaluate as well. So yeah, according to that, we've got the 8 top companies that you can find in the green room here in Nimble. So we're very, very proud about that. And
should I maybe talk here about the way we evaluate in the diversity?
Yeah,
because it's the same
yeah,
topic.
sure.
Yeah, so it's the same idea, also 8 companies who we've picked, but our criteria is a little bit different, but also focusing on how well companies communicate about their interest in diversity and how much they value that. I'll explain more about that later, but yeah, briefly, it is about some numbers like percentage of women and male in their head departments of the company. And also, for example, if they have a COVID strategy, why is that a thing? Because then they could make sure that different people who feel differently about the pandemic, then they could also be part of the organization. So their criteria followed. We also got help from GoKind. I should mention that. And yes, you can see the top selected companies in our room as well. And now we can keep talking.
Yeah, so why do we do this then? I mean, that's a valid question to ask. And we do it because it's important to us both to show the companies that sustainability and diversity is very important for us as a career fair. But then we also carry the voice of the Kth students, right? So if we say that sustainability is important, we also indirectly say that students at Kth think that these are important questions for us. So yeah, that's one of the things. And then also, of course, since we believe these are important and we believe that this is something that students at Kth care about, we can also tell you which companies are working the hardest with these questions. So of course, it's also for you guys. Yeah. And of course, we do all of other stuff, like we do waste management, we do climate compensation, because we don't want to, we do release some carbon dioxide for everything that we do. That's unavoidable. So of course, we got to offset that. Yeah, and we also work a lot with the team, of course, so that everyone knows what sustainability is and how to work with it. But yeah, I'd say the main thing is the index. But then we also have the sustainability, the green room at the fair. But maybe, Anastasia, you want to talk about how you work with diversity first, and we'll take the rooms later.
For sure. Yes. I like how we're improvising. That's what we do. So, yes, for us, diversity is important on different levels, and we're trying to make sure that we, within the organization, within Armada, all feel included. And it's easy to say that and easy to keep using this word all the time, and I think more tricky to actually ensure it is happening. But this is what we are aiming to do. We'll later probably evaluate on how actually people felt, but we're trying to do that throughout the year from February to now. And then also externally, so yes, the companies we highlight, they are working with diversity, as Saga mentioned, the same for sustainability. And for example, we do some events during the year. Maybe Anisha, you want to talk about the Pride Month initiative that we had this June?
Oh yeah, sure. So as you guys know, Pride Month was in August, and for that, we, like Saga mentioned, it's important for KTH students and people in general to understand why diversity and sustainability is important, not just from a company perspective. So we went around campus actually, and we got a lot of students to talk about what they feel about Pride, what Pride means to them, and what inclusivity and diversity means to them. And this was really interesting to get a lot of different inputs on that, and we have all of that on video. So we created this really nice video that's up. And so yeah, we got a lot of interesting reactions as well, so like some negative ones as well from some conservative people. But I think that just made us understand how much we need to talk about this more and create awareness, so that was nice. And other than that, we've been doing a lot of, actively doing a lot of things to promote diversity and inclusivity at KTH. So,
and yeah, thank you for explaining. And it's not just about the sexual orientation inclusion or gender or age or physical ability. It's all of these things together, and it's different aspects that could be part of diversity, which is just a big topic, and I think it's important that Armada highlights that as their core values, because then we can bring it forward from Armada and from voicing students of KTH. Do you want to move on to the room?
Yes. Sure. So, as Saga mentioned, we from the sustainability team work in making Armada more sustainable, along with the sustainability index that we have developed. So, we have sustainability days organized. So, that was on 17th and 18th of this month. And we had different challenges to spread about sustainability to students. So, one of the challenge was the green cooking contest, where we encourage students to cook vegetarian and also to just analyze and explore how much emissions their food is causing. And we have that challenge still going on. People can still participate. So
yeah, there are great prizes. Don't miss out, guys.
So, and we also had a talk on careers in sustainability, where we have explored what does it mean a career to be called sustainable. And a career in sustainability, we had Simon, the chairman of the Young Sustainability Professionals Network. So I feel it was a very informative one that we have made. And then we had a quiz on the COP26, the recent one. And then today for the Green Room, we have exhibited the top 8 companies that we felt are sustainable and are working with sustainability. And then we have a very fun game where we challenge people are challenged to guess the emissions of certain products and processes. So for example, a question could be, do you think how much emissions would eating pork for a week produce? So we see that people are quite interested, not just because it was fun, because also that was informative, and also we see that they are very inquisitive in learning those things. Anything else, Saga?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can win tickets to the Armada competition, so don't miss out on that. And there are super nice vibes. We have plants, we have balloons, and we have nice people, obviously. So yeah, come and have a look.
And you're all welcome to come and have a talk with us.
Yes, we'd be more than happy to talk about sustainability forever.
Good that you mentioned the Sustainability Day, because I forgot to mention that, so I should. We had a Diversity Day as well, which was the day before Sustainability, same week, last week that was. And during that week we also had some things happening. We're physically going around campus again with our team, talking to students about that, raising diversity questions. And for example, there was a social media challenge where we were inviting people to say thank you to someone who made them feel welcome at KTH or in Stockholm. So I would say that for me it was valuable that it's not about winning something or achieving something, but just praising a person.
Like gratitude.
Exactly.
And what else did we do?
What also I felt like I should mention, now it looks like it's 4 girls sitting here.
We have more people.
We have more people, and they are also male, so let's just put it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, they have classes
Cheers
right
to
now.
them.
They couldn't join.
So like they mentioned, we also have a diversity room here along with the green room, where we have a bunch of quizzes that you can do on diversity. And there's also a Mentimeter quiz that has very simple questions like, for example, which city are you from, and do you feel included in KTH, and what can you suggest to change things in such a way that people feel more included. And all of the answers are put up on the TV screen, so it's quite interesting to go have a look in the diversity room. Like she said, it's got great vibes. It's super well decorated and beautiful, so you can definitely visit and do some of the events and get your tickets, so you can claim some souvenirs.
Merchandise?
Yeah.
Yeah, what souvenirs can you get?
I guess you can get a tote bag, some badges, some...
Yeah, but in the diversity room.
Yeah. Not diversity room, so it's in the...
No, but you can get some souvenirs from the diversity room, right?
Also get a patch, a rainbow patch.
Yes,
right.
Everyone wants a rainbow patch, right? I need one.
You can also get the one like that if you want.
Yeah, so I mean, just go around the room, talk to everyone, just see what you can do, and it'll be fun. Yeah.
We'll also have the diversity panel happening today at 3:15, and for that you can ask a question to the panelists through the Mentimeter that you will find in our room, or also online. You can find a link to that. So it would be great if you have questions to the panelists to put them there so I can voice them today. And you're coming.
Yes, and with that, I'm sneaking back in. Thank you so much for coming and explaining all of this to us. And I just can't anything but agree. It's so much fun to work with these core values of ours, and I think we really do. I think you've done a great job. We are going to head over to a live presentation. So at 13:15, it's time for Battery Loop. So stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. So we would like to thank to Battery for their informative presentation.
Yeah, right now we have a couple guests here at Armada Studio, and I will leave the word to Ame for distributing some prizes.
Hello, everyone. So we are going to give the prizes for the winners who have participated in the theme days of Armada during the events week. So basically, we sent out some quizzes and some posts regarding how they can improve the environment and stuff, and then we picked out the winners from there. So from our automation and digitalization theme day, we did one quiz on the net, and the winner for that quiz is Sairaja Punuju. And here we go, as we can have
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. So, and there was one winner for the automation and digitalization day. For another thing, we had one theme day called Entrepreneurship and Leadership Day, wherein there was a lunch lecture which was given by our own project manager, Josephine, and followed by that, we did a Mentimeter, and from that Mentimeter, we picked out 2 winners who were great, and they were Chirag Sagare.
Congratulations, Chirag.
Yeah. And there was one more winner called Sandra Rainseed, but since she is not here, so we'll hand out the prize later on to them. Now, coming on to our third and the last theme day, which was Innovation and Research Day, we asked students of KTH to post on Instagram something related to how they can improve or how they can implement sustainability in product, process, and production. So out of the whole responses that we got on Instagram, we picked out 2 winners, and one of them is Paul Jack Murrell, and another is Anne-Karine Lindquist. Both of them are not here, but we'll definitely send out the prizes to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ame, for being here and our prize winners. So it was really nice to host you guys.
It was really nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, great, great. Thank you. All right. Armada likes to distribute some prizes to the people. We are really generous here, right, Arda?
Yeah, as always.
As always. And don't forget our free fika down in Nimble. Please come by.
Yeah.
You won't regret it. Well, in Nimble, as you previously mentioned, we have a sustainability and diversity room. But have you ever thought, how do we choose the companies to be in that room? Well, Armada core values, as you previously mentioned, are sustainability and diversity, and we work really close with them. In our green room, we select companies that stand out in their work within these subjects, sustainability and diversity. And this year we have proudly teamed up with a company called GoKind to help us evaluate the companies in terms of sustainability and diversity. They provide us data including those subjects, and then we can create some indexes that we can rate the companies by, so that the company with the best scores are invited to our sustainability and diversity room. Speaking of GoKind is actually a really cool company that help people make more sustainable choices in their everyday purchases. You as an individual can download their app, and whenever you purchase something on the net or physically, you can check the company name on their app, and then you can rate how sustainable that company is, so that app can help you to make more sustainable purchases for a better future, right? And if you sign up to their app today with the code Armada with uppercase letters, I repeat, Armada with uppercase letters, you can get the chance of winning a gift card worth 5,000 crowns. How amazing it is! Sign up to that app and download GoKind application from either Android store or Apple store. All right, Arda.
Thanks for the information, Kenan. So
you're welcome.
We have some frequent asked questions actually, so we would like to answer these questions. So the first question is, what's happening in Nimble? So as you know, Kenan, we have lots of events going on in Nimble, such as like CV workshop. So we can take your picture for your CV and also give some feedback about how we can improve your CVs. And also we are providing quite tasty fika, and I heard that they also provide such a tasty ice cream.
Yeah, I grabbed actually canabule just right now and it was amazing. Yeah.
So you better go and check it, okay?
It's your loss if you miss it.
No worries. So, and also we provide some merchandise from some of our exhibitor companies, so you can also get and benefit from these merchandise as well. And second question is, when will be the after party and where?
Whoa.
So it's
quite
exciting, right? So yes. The after party will be happening in München Brugeriet at 11 p.m. So for the people who still couldn't get their tickets, so you can just go to the place and you can buy your tickets there, or you can also check THS Armada Facebook page and the events section so that you can get your tickets online as well. And the last question is, when will the live performance will be happening? So tomorrow we will also have the second day of the career fair, and at 3:15 we will have a special concert for you guys in the same live stream portal. So don't miss that, okay? And now we would like to leave the floor at 2 p.m. to a company called Centro's presentation. So don't miss that, okay?
It was Kenan Güler speaking, and this is my fellow mate,
Arda.
We are here at Armada Studio with Sarah and Anna Ekernes, monitoring this whole show behind the computers. Yeah. And as Arda said, see you until next time. Enjoy the fair.
See you. Enjoy. Welcome back everyone to the Armada Studio. So first of all, we would like to thank the Centro for their informative presentation. So we are ready with a new content in front of you, and it will be an insider interview. So basically, what's an insider interview? So as you know, Armada consists of several groups that getting prepared for career fair. So we will try to introduce these groups to you so that you can benefit for the information, and perhaps you can choose the most suiting group if you would like to become a member of Armada next year. So first, in that interview, we will be concentrating on two main groups, which are business relations and events, and the second group, logistics and fair. So first, before we start our interview, let's get into our videos for these groups.
Hi there. my name is Anna and I'm the head of Business Relations and Events team, BRE in short. And this video is for you to get a little bit more of an understanding of what we in the BRE group actually do. And starting off, we're gonna hear what the Banquet team does. The Banquet team is in charge of the banquet, which this year has the theme Queen's Gambit. We have a logistic parts in the banquet who make sure that everyone is coordinated, knows where to be at what time, and make sure that things work smoothly in general. And secondly, we have the decorations part, which is in charge of making sure that the location looks good, looks nice, and feels festive for the occasion. And finally, there is the entertainment part of the banquet, which makes sure that the evening becomes a tiny bit more fun and exciting with different entertainments like music, theater, speeches, and so on. We also have fun celebrating birthdays and other times doing big group activities with the whole BRE group as well. Following up, we have the events team, which this year made a total of around 10 events, like lunch lectures, case evenings, and also field visits with different companies. And Amay now will tell us a bit more of what it's like to be in the events team.
Hello everyone, my name is Amesha and I am head of events at THS Armada. It's not just about the work that we do for the fair, but it is about the whole experience that you get. Starting from this year, starting from the year at around like 20 January or February. So you get to have like a lot of team building activities, there's a lot of afterworks and another like activities such as like there's camping, there's trips, etc. And also the banquet, which is like the most posh fair, and the cruise finally. So it is also about the work and the fun, but also the learning experience. You get to work with a lot of diverse people here. You get to meet a lot of company representatives, and you can get your like career prospects to them and all. So it's a whole in all a lot of good experience, and in between that organizing events and stuff.
Alright, last up guys, we have the sales team. And as head of BRE, I've also been part of selling the Armada product. However, I asked the sales team what they actually do. And this was their answer.
We get the companies for the fair.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. We do develop and communicate Armada's product offering as well.
That's amazing. Valid points.
And the customer relationships, like we do the calls and we do the meetings and like the emails and everything to develop the relationships we have with all the companies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we're the first contact to the companies, the first face they see. Ain't that right?
Yeah, that's true as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Never thought of that.
Oh.
Yes. I would totally agree with what they just said, actually. And to wrap this video up, I wanted to say two things. Being part of the BRE group, yeah, it does mean some work, but the work really develops you, or at least me, as both a professional and as an individual, and I've seen the same in my team members. And the second thing is that being part of this group, I've made friends for life, and it has been one of the best years for me here at KTH. If you have any other questions for us, then grab us a nimble and ask whatever is on your mind. And lastly, I hope you're enjoying the fair, and that maybe I will see you around. Bye!
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you liked the videos from our teams. So let's start our interview. So from Business Relations and Events team, we have Leo, Ame, and from Logistics, we have Aditya. So let me ask you, Leo, about what is the how have the preparations are gone for the fair of Armada?
Well, for me, the preparations is basically the sales periods. We have 2 of them, and when we sell all the stuff to the companies. And they went well. They started off a bit slow, and then we put in a lot of hard work and got everything done. And then we had a wonderful handover to LF. So when all the companies were ready, we gave them to LF to actually mount the actual fair.
Yeah. Transition of the responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ame, so what is the best part of working in your group?
So the best part, well, it is the way the things are put for the companies. So as Leo said, they bring in the companies. So some of the companies which are interested in the events, we have to get everything in order to make an event for them. So it's usually like asking with the companies their preferences on what events they want to do. Based on that, all the preparations which is going on. So if it's a lunch lecture or if it's a case evening. So this year we had like 10 events, so we had to work a lot and put all together by the team. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to check all the details,
Yes.
right? So
yeah.
everything will be going correctly. Yeah. So Aditya, what was the most challenging part of being in Armada, do you think, in your team? Or
I mean, for us, it would be, I mean, I work with the services and the lounges team, so I would say getting all the refreshments and food to everyone in different parts of the fair. We have like 3 lounges, so that's been the most challenging, but yet most the fun part, because it's like you need refreshments throughout the like the fair, and like you like serve as the energy for everyone and keep the energy up. So like placing food orders, getting all the food to where it's supposed to be, and making sure we don't run out of things has been quite a challenging part. But I would say like we were like way planned well ahead in time, so we were able to get those orders in and have everything ready on time, I would say.
yeah, having plans always make things easier.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, it's not always true, but yeah, it helps, and like having like backup plans is always a good idea, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Accidents can happen
Perfect,
anytime.
yeah.
And so, Leo, what have your best memory been at Armada? Do you have any special memory?
Okay, so this is a very hard question, but the first thing I think of is like, what have I done that I'm proud of? Because Armada is so much accomplishing a lot of different stuff. But we are, this Monday and Tuesday, we are putting up a car from Volvo Cars outside Kth entrance. And there was a lot of different routes to go there, and that's something that's been, it's ongoing, but it's a good memory to have been able to pull that off. It wasn't all easy, I can say. So that's a thing, yeah. I'm going to leave it like right there.
Yeah, all right. And Ame, what have you learned while working at Armada? Like skills?
Well, quite a lot. The main thing is learning on like how an organization works in a very proper and a disciplined manner. If it's like basically working in a company to achieve a goal, and that was the best part of my learning experience. Like all the communication channels, the integration between different subgroups and other stuff. So how the communication should go, what are the things that you should keep in mind of how, and also the main part is that being like one of the project group members, you also get to brush up on your like leadership skills, like communication skills and all that. So well, there's a lot to learn, but yeah, these are, I think, the most important.
Yeah, as a project group member, you have to also take care of all the operation team members under you,
Yes.
right? So it's as you lots of leadership skills as well, I guess. Yeah. And also, Aditya, do you think Armada met your expectations when you were applying for being a member of Armada?
I mean, I would say definitely yes, because this is my 3rd year working for Armada, so I wouldn't come back if it didn't meet my expectations, but every year I come back because it gets bigger and bigger. So even to add on to what Ame said about leadership and stuff, you don't realize until you start working that we follow a same structure as how big companies work. It's just that like what we do is like, it doesn't look big, but it is quite a big thing for students to pull off something like this when you're studying. So I always would say that Armada always meets my expectations, and I'm pretty sure it meets everyone's expectations as well.
Because it also has been your third time, which means like every time you learn something new, which means like it never repeats actually.
Exactly,
you
yeah.
Get something
yeah,
new.
it's always different. It's pretty dynamic, I would say.
Yeah. So I hope you liked your our interviews, and they will become really useful for your perhaps your next application next year for a specific team that you like to be a member of. So we are leaving the floor to presentation of Sigma Industry quarter to 3. So enjoy the fair.
Hi, welcome back, and thank you so much, Sigma Industry, for that live presentation. To wrap up this day, we are back here at Armada Studio, and we have assembled a diversity panel, which our head of diversity, Anastasia, is gonna lead. First off, we're just gonna check the sound, so if that mic could just say some testing. Do we hear it?
Testing, testing.
And the other mic?
Testing, testing.
Oh, this is incredible. Then Anastasia,
testing,
the floor is yours.
Okay.
Testing,
Sorry, okay.
The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your quick presentation. And yes, I'm so happy that we could put this together and that you all agreed to be part of this. I am super impressed and happy. Yeah, cannot say it more and express it, but I hope you feel it. I will quickly introduce all of us, beginning with me, probably, and then we'll start off the panel, which will be 40 minutes, 45, quite quick. So we have Gabriella, chairman of Diversity Charter Sweden, and a communication consultant at Spoon Agency. I'll be just going through, and then we have Greg, the founder of New to Sweden. Yes, we have, and I forgot myself, but no mind. We have Norma, head of event and logistics at Bright Kth organization. We have Maria, I'm just going like that, project manager of the Swedish Foundation of Human Rights. We have Roel, gender equality, diversity, and equal conditions strategist at Kth Equality Office. I said that. And we have Amina, who is GML coordinator of Malvina. And you'll have a chance to explain more if you want to what I've just briefly covered. And I'm Anastasia, head of diversity at Armada. So we are here to discuss the diversity issues, in particular, should not say issues, questions, in particular related to students in relation to the job market and everything related to that, because this is what Armada is about, bringing students from KTH into this other step in their career. And I think diversity could be an important discussion point for them in this stage of their life, because then their transition could be made in a more comfortable manner for them. So not to drag for too long, I would want to maybe first give an opportunity for those who have some ideas, and I know some of you already have some points to bring up, to start from your own perspective, because I feel like we all represent different aspects of diversity, because it's so broad and it's impossible to cover it all, but we are trying to at least touch on some of them. So if you have any ideas, suggestions in that regard, straight away, you can start this panel. Yeah, perfect, thank you.
First of all, it has to be accessible and usable for everyone. And you could point out a lot of different issues, but one is that if you have vision impairment, it's very hard for you to get the literature in time when the course starts. often you get it in the end of the course when your classmates has been getting it from the start.
Mhm.
And that's because when you need it to, like when you read the text read, when you're listening to the text, that's a big problem.
Yeah. And I'm sure it feels like if we know that this is a thing to be aware of, then it could be solved.
It shouldn't have to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's known. It's
Yeah.
known.
Yeah.
It's wide known.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up.
Accessibility and usability is like everywhere in the society. It's a problem also when it comes to studies.
For sure. Yeah, thank you. Good point.
I mean, I can just say that I totally see that. I think accessibility comes quite secondary when we think of diversity. I think here in Sweden in particular, we think a lot about gender diversity as sort of the diversity that we need to work on. Perhaps LGBTQ diversity comes next. There seems to be like a tiered system when it comes to diversity in Sweden, and then I feel like ethnic and cultural diversity, which is sort of what we work on with New to Sweden, I feel like that comes, well, probably not as bad as you probably have it as well, but somewhere down the road. So, I mean, I have so many suggestions. I don't know where to begin. We're going to talk about some of them today. I think we're going to talk about language requirements. We're going to talk about representation. We're going to talk about, I don't know how many people know about like the percentages of people who are diverse here in Sweden, but we have those numbers. So I think for now, I'll pass the mic, because otherwise I'll be talking for like 20 or 30 minutes. But we'll definitely, I think, we'll tackle each of those subjects separately. Norma or Gabriella, who would like to go?
Self-moderation, I'm loving it. Yeah.
I also think it's about role models, who you can see, and what educational institutions who you show, and who can I recognize myself in all the people that I see representing the education, which is very, very important.
Yeah. But do you feel like not everyone would think that, oh, KTH is a place for me to study because it's for these kind of people?
I was just checking briefly through your webpage just before I came here, and you are really, I mean, many differences you cannot see, of course, but you are very working very well with men and women, equality, as I could see in the pictures, but I could not see people of color or any other differences, and that was, of course, super brief.
Yeah, but that's a good point, and I'm glad you bring this up. Yeah. Now you have the mic, Norma, without you wanting it. But Ro, do you want to bring something?
I just follow the same pattern. I really agree that we really need a more diverse representation at KTH, not with only our organization, but with every level at KTH. I don't know, the board, just all levels, because as you said, Gabriella, we really want to see ourselves in those positions to be able to approach them.
But I think what you are representing Bright here, and you are mostly about the cultural diversity and ethnical diversity.
Yeah.
And is it first year you are active, or second year? You are quite new as an association at KTH.
Yeah, so Bright was founded in 2020, but because of the pandemic, we really didn't show up at any events. So,
but that would be different to Malvina, which is also association at KTH, but more targeting the gender equality, I would say. And you have been found more years ago, so it comes back to this hierarchy, Greg, like you mentioned. There might be this hierarchy of what is seen more important in Sweden in terms of diversity, which I don't know. I came here only 2 years ago, but I can maybe guess that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm from Malvina, and Malvina is a network for women and non-binary students at KTH. So we do talk a lot about gender equality, but I think we need to address more questions like disabilities and diversity question. I want to see more representation at KTH. I think we have a lot of statistics about gender equality on KTH, and that's really good. But we don't really talk about the other discrimination grounds. So yes, and I think it's really important that we work with these questions here at school, because we will face the same questions then later when we get to work in future. Some of your classmates will maybe be your colleagues or your bosses, or you don't know. So we need to establish like a better norm, so these problems don't occur or won't be occurring at the same rate in the future that they are now. So yeah.
And I think also what you mentioned to me, Amina, before is that it's easy to talk about that and say, look at us, we're so diverse, put these beautiful pictures on the website, but then you go in and you realize that actually people don't feel like they are included or welcome. And
yeah, and I think it's important to, when we're talking about these issues at universities and for students, to both remember that it's a question of the social environment, but also a question of the study environment. And there the university obviously has a big responsibility to, like, for instance, when it comes to what kind of education is it that we provide and what kind of research is conducted at KTH, and that diversity and equal conditions and equity is considered in all those aspects as well. And that's something that KTH is working with currently, but still has a long way to go. Because it's, on the one hand, it's the content, like what is the knowledge that we want to convey to students, but it's also a question of pedagogical choices and methods. How do we create inclusive educational environments so that everyone can feel welcome and included and seen, and also that students can feel are both aware of what they can expect and demand of the university, but also feel comfortable making demands. So this is what we need, this is what we want, so that we can then together try to find solutions for that.
True. I can see Greg wanting to comment.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Thank you.
No, I just had a quick question, I think, for the three of you, more specifically, but how much are your associations consulted for different things around the campus? I would like to know if you have any sort of power. Are you empowered to make a lot of changes? Or do you sort of, you can work with the student body, but not with administration?
And you asking Norma and Amina?
Yeah, because I could just clarify that I'm not from an association. I work at the university. The KTH Equality Office is sort of a supportive and coordinating unit at the central administration, working with these issues, for instance, when it comes to active measures against discrimination and so on. So hopefully, hopefully we're working together already. But I actually have to admit that I hadn't heard of your organization before now, so I'm very interested in hearing more, either now or later.
Yeah, sure.
You can answer the question that Greg posed, and then we'll carry on.
So as Anastasia mentioned, we're really new, so but my opinion is that we have a lot of support from Malvina and other associations here at KTH, but also from the outside, or even from our students. That people are really engaged in these kind of questions. So we have a support, but it's not established yet. So
yeah, as we just heard, so it's good now. Maybe new links are being made. And
to answer your question, I have actually been in GML associations, equality and equity associations here at school. And if I hadn't been so passionate about GML, I don't know if I had known that students can engage as much as we do at school. But we actually have the support from THS and the school. We just like need to. We don't really get the information that we can affect the way we can do. But yeah, we actually have like meetings all the time with the school, with the administration, so students can be heard if they just know about it. So that's the biggest problem here, I would say, is communication. The school want to do a lot, and the students want, but we don't always like know that we can work together. So the communication is a problem, but I would say we are heard.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I think we can take the questions that students asked to the panel without knowing too much about the panelists. And they could put these questions during the fair today. And one of them perfectly fits from, Roa, what you were mentioning just now. And the question is, it would be nice if maybe 3-4 of you respond. We don't have to take it all each time. So the question, how can diversity be embedded as a part of education? Yes, yeah, you questioned that. No pressure at all. I feel like it's a tough question because it's kind of how to solve things.
Well, I mean, that is something that we've been working with quite a lot in Equality Office the last few years, because now we have to integrate this in our educational programs, and the question is, how do we do that? How do we support the teachers in doing that? Because I think one big issue is that lots of teachers are sort of scared of like, oh, but I don't know this field, and I'm supposed to be this sort of knowledgeable, authoritative figure who knows all the answers to the students' questions. But there are already lots of ways that we can sort of like find entry points, because if we consider sustainable development, for instance, and sustainable development goals, reduced inequalities and gender equality are two of those goals. And the whole idea with all of the goals are that we need to fulfill all of them because they're interdependent on each other. So sustainable development is one entry point. But then it's also a question of not only like statistics and what is discrimination, but also a question of how do we work together, like group work, leadership, because at KTH there is this a quite strong narrative of KTH educates the leaders of tomorrow. And then it is sort of important that we here at KTH also give tools to create good environments so that when our students go out into industry or maybe continue within academia, that they can contribute to creating inclusive, welcoming work environments as well.
Yeah. I can see Gabriella wanting to also.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that you say that we are a little bit afraid and we don't know how to approach the questions, and in one aspect we need to talk to each other more, and we need to be open when we don't know, and not afraid to ask the things that we really don't know about. It's not wrong to be curious if you have if you really want to know something different. And on the practical side, if you put together teams and you create a process where you make sure that you create teams that are so diverse as possible, we all know that diverse teams, they are more innovative than homogeneous teams. Absolutely. So that is, in the small aspect.
Yeah, but I think it's good that it's being mentioned that it's good to be curious and it's okay, but sometimes it feels like I'd just rather not ask a question and assume something, or just let it be and let it go. So I think the more we bring this up and say that it's okay to set the question, then maybe more people feel like it. Someone else wants to add something on that question?
I don't know whether or not this is in place at Kth already, but perhaps one idea is to have a diversity course or something like that that's a little bit more mandatory for a lot, or compulsory for a lot of the students. because we do know that this is the wave of the future. We do know that Sweden's becoming way more diverse in many different ways. This might be the best preparatory course for students to move forward into the labor market.
Yeah. When I was doing my bachelor in England, there we had it was in architecture and urban planning, and we had to have a course that is linked to sustainability, because the university had to push that and to make sure that all students listen to that course at least. So maybe that could be something where it's a compulsory thing. But then again, it comes back to how we ensure that there are teachers who can talk about that and feel like they
There are
want to.
teachers. That you should be able to find a teacher out there who can do it. It's just a matter of whether or not Kth has the, I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but the will and the power and the money to do it. But they could do it, and they can better prepare the students for the future, I think.
And then also another level is that KTH, again, needs to be very careful with what they talk within that course. Because if they just cover one aspect of it, again, they'll be criticized and so on.
You can cover a lot in 3 months' time, or if you have to take it, once a year, once per semester. I think that could be something really useful. But I mean, I'm not a student and I'm not part of the KTH administration, but as an outsider, I think that could be a plausible solution.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. Thank you for bringing it up. Amina, you want to add?
I think we have courses about like diversity and stuff, or it's on the agenda to have it. I don't think it's mandatory, but I know there are going to be courses that give merits, and I think we really need like mandatory courses, or like courses that have diversity and YML questions in them. It doesn't have to be like you need to write a paper on this, but more to discuss. I think we need to discuss. I think the biggest problem is that we don't talk enough about these problems. We have covered like gender equality, and even if we haven't like solved it all, we are on the way, but we are not like on the same level with the other like questions that we need to address. A thing I know that's also on KTH agenda, I don't know when it will be implemented, is that at the end of the course evaluations, they will have like questions, and I think students need to be more involved in like what type of questions we want at the end of courses. Like just not how did you find the atmosphere or did you feel welcome. We need like more, like a bit better questions that talk about diversity, so the students know how much they actually can talk about, so people can stop being so uncomfortable when we talk about like there's not enough representation, or why don't we talk enough about disabilities or the LGBTQ community, so people don't get uncomfortable. We need to get out of that comfortable zone. We need to talk about it more. So yeah,
for sure. What I'm thinking about now is that, for example, when I was sending the questionnaire to Armada people, do you feel welcome? There was this sensation to me that people don't want to make me feel bad, so maybe some of them were saying, yeah, I feel very welcome and it's so super nice, without feeling this, just not to make me feel bad. And I don't know how to break that. How do we make it not shamed that this is a problem? Yeah, you have maybe a solution, or I don't know, comments to add.
No, I don't have a solution, but I mean, instead of asking after a course, when you start a course, you can set up common rules and how do you have an...
Yeah.
Have a code of conduct.
Yes, an agreement. Yes, an agreement in the group, how you want to treat each other, and what you want, how feel you want to be.
Yeah, that's a nice addition.
I was just saying about your question about do you feel welcome? I think sometimes it's a hard question because we don't know, like.
Yeah, where is the scale?
I mean, if you ask me that, I will say, yeah, sure, I feel welcome, but I haven't really like thought about what's missing here for me, how the environment could be the best like environment for me, how it can be accessible to everyone. I mean, if someone is, I don't know, in a wheelchair, and they will probably like find an elevator or stuff, but if it's from the beginning like really clearly marked, or every entrance has a clearly marked like for like wheelchair entrance, or it said like in the beginning, here we will have like loud noises and stuff, instead of going in, and then I see that there's loud noises, I'm not comfortable, and then I will just walk out of there. If we have all the information, the accessibility from the beginning, so when I have that question, I will just like be like, well, if I don't like it, I will try to solve it myself. So I think we need to get out more the information for students, so they know if anything is missing, you should talk about it, because we need to talk about it more. So it's a bit about accessibility, like you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know whether or not this is also in the KTH plans. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff that might be happening, but engagement surveys and inclusion surveys, like more in-depth surveys, are they in the plans for this entire student body?
Maybe this isn't the answer to your question specific, but I think we could come a long way if we talked more about that it's the same structures that discriminate people, independent on where we come from or what we look like and everything. It's the same structures. So I think, and I think we should talk more about that, and also alliera, how do you say that? to become allies between different discriminated groups.
That's true. I can just echo that really fast, but most of the solutions are the same, regardless. Yeah. So for sure, work together.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, you can add, and then we move on to the second question.
Yeah. So as a student here at KTH, I just feel the urge to like educate the teacher as well as students, because not everyone have the same knowledge that we do. And if they have this knowledge that we do, maybe they can like proceed in another way. Yeah.
Or maybe they have even more knowledge that we are not aware of.
Yeah, that's true.
To exchange.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. And now it's a little bit of a different topic, but I think it's also interesting to cover that question from students that someone said today. So it is, what do you think about Swedish language requirements for many vacancies in Sweden, and how it could include internationals? So it's more about this bridge between students and them going to the work world. So I feel like, Greg, you're on it. Good.
I just have a quick input.
Yeah.
Like in particular, I just feel like international students are like put in a side here at KTH. They even have their own reception. They're not embedded as much as the Swedish people are that go to KTH. So I think that could be a solution to embed them or integrate them more.
Yeah. Which sounds easy to do, but it's good to make it voice this potential problem. Yeah.
So this is something we actively work with. So we do this with every single organization that we talk to. Basically, we ask them to reduce their language requirements. Or rephrase it. So, don't for sure never ever say native Swedish required, which we've seen. We have examples of carpentry jobs that required native Swedish, which we view as like a dog whistle for something else. But we ask every organization to reduce their Swedish language requirements to something and rephrase it to, can you communicate in Swedish? Can you, because there are a lot of people here who do have Swedish as a second language, don't speak it with a certain fluency, but that's okay. Can you communicate your thoughts? Yes, you can. Can you pick up Swedish at a fluency level that's required after a certain amount of months? Yes, you can. If you're working in Swedish every single day, guess what's going to happen to your language skills? So give everybody a chance and then take it from there.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds inspiring. For me personally, like I'm not a native Swedish speaker whatsoever, but
I'll just quickly add too. So like I'm from Toronto, and in Toronto in Canada, like 50% of the city is foreign born. So we're used to like English being spoken at a very like rudimentary level, but it's totally fine because if you have the skill set to do everything else, then you are valid to be hired. So that's how we see it there, and that's how I hope Sweden can one day see it here as well, because Swedish with an accent is still Swedish.
I think, because you mentioned also in the beginning that in Toronto there are a lot of people who are not from there originally, and maybe that's a norm, but in Sweden maybe it's less of a norm at this point. I would suggest.
The statistics don't back that up anymore. So like a lot of people, there's like the misinterpretation that Sweden is not that diverse when it comes to foreign-born people or children of foreign-born. But like since we're in KTH and right now in the Stockholm region, like the statistics prove that 48% of us, so 1 in every 2 in the Stockholm region is foreign-born, or the child is someone foreign-born. But we don't see that represented at most companies, if not any company.
Interesting. Any more additions to the language requirements questions? It's totally,
No, but I think that we as companies, we need to be a little bit more open-minded when we think about who we want to recruit. That maybe not always Swedish is required. I mean, if you do a specific type of job, sometimes Swedish is absolutely required, but in many jobs not.
Yeah. But do you think it's part of the requirements because it's just easier to put it there and then?
No, I think it's that way because it has always been that way. You know, change takes time, and we need to rethink how we recruit and who we are looking for.
Yeah, Maria has an addition as well.
Employers who have had their first hired person with a disability, they are more likely to hire the next one.
Do you think it's linked to them not being so afraid of that anymore?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that we bring up some statistics here as well. Whoa, I don't have any statistics here to share with you. It's good to hear. Okay, we can move on to another question, which is more of a general one, but I think it's good to keep discussing that. Do you see the benefit of seeing the situation in different perspectives? So maybe what is the benefit of seeing one situation in different perspectives? And it comes back to why we even value diversity. Why do we need that in our work environments? Why do we not just get all Swedes work in one company? I would maybe rephrase it this way.
I think I got it. Yeah.
You can rephrase
it. So what's the value in having different perspectives in any sort of workplace or in a team or in education? From a workplace perspective, there's a lot of studies out there now that sort of prove, like fundamentally, quantified studies proving that the more diverse a team is, the more likely they are to outperform a team that's not as diverse. And it depends how you record diversity, but in terms of ethnic diversity, I know that I think it's 152%. So a Harvard study showed that if a team matches the ethnic diversity of their audience, they are 152% more likely to perform better and financially better. And then there's the McKinsey study, which is super popular, and then that's the one that most people usually quote, and it's I think it's 35%, if I remember correctly. So the more diverse your team is, you're 35% more likely to financially outperform your peers who have the least diverse teams. So fundamentally, like, it's the way to go. Like, I don't think there's any sort of argument against it. And I don't think you'll hear it from today's panel, but yeah.
Joel wants to add something as well, yeah?
Yeah, and I mean, it's also, like, if we connect back to university context and research and such, not having diversity can literally be dangerous. I mean, the classic examples are crash test dummies and heart medication, which were developed with only a sort of like white Western male as sort of the test group. But then in practice, the crash cushions and medications can be dangerous for people who have different kinds of bodies. So if we don't actually have diversity and representation of different bodies and experiences and needs, we're not gonna be able to actually provide the solutions or medications or innovations that we need in our societies that are diverse, that would have lots of different needs. So it's also a question of quality in that sense. You can't have a qualitative education or research or product if it's only developed by a homogeneous group.
No, I just wanted to comment on what you said before, Greg. On diverse teams, it also boils down to leadership, an inclusive leadership, because if you don't have that and you don't have leaders that actually can work with diverse teams, then probably you will fail. So it's a combination of diverse teams and the leadership and what management really wants. And we have sort of one future, and the future needs to be together. So.
Yeah. Can you maybe also, Gabriella, talk a little bit about the Diversity Charter in Sweden and its chapter here? Because anyone I mention it to never recognizes it as that, so I feel like maybe it would be nice if you...
Well, Diversity Charter is an organization for companies and organizations like KTH and Länsstyrelsen and other organizations, and the purpose is to unite leaders and learn from each other how to work with diversity, because there are no perfect models, and we need to talk to each other and exchange knowledge on how to do things, because we have a certain set of rules in Sweden we cannot count, for instance. So we need to learn different methods how to create a diverse workplace and a good future.
What do you mean you cannot count?
We cannot. We don't count foreign, where you come from, or religion. So it makes it a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, it's what I notice in newspapers. It's usually just a name and age, which is probably the things that people feel like they're allowed to say about someone else, which is interesting. But also maybe it's doing something for the society because they don't have to mention anything else. Do you think that somehow this is becoming a bigger problem? Because I feel like now these things are discussed more in Sweden, let's say. Is it because it's getting more crucial for us as a society to work on that? Or is it just because we have kind of solved some other questions and now we can move on to the diversity issue? Let's just make it sound like this.
I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about it, but
you're great at talking.
But basically, I mean, it's really sad to say, but basically, what happened to George Floyd last year, I think, spurred a lot of the movement that we see today, I believe, I am Swedish. I'm a Swedish citizen now, so I can probably say this, but I feel that Sweden's like a slow-moving machine, but once it starts its momentum, then everything starts moving a lot faster. So we tend to do things 10 years, 15 years after the fact, but then when we do it a little bit faster. So hopefully this is the start of something that's going to radically change the Swedish landscape. Let's wait and see. So far, I mean, we look a lot at statistics when we do our presentations and when we talk to different employers, and the statistics, like, it's not reflecting well on Sweden yet. And in fact, you know, what it was like 10 years ago is very close to what it is still today. So let's see how we do moving forward. But yeah, those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, nice. Thank you for adding that. And we still have some more minutes. I'm just checking, but we're all perfectly fine. And yeah, so you mentioned one event that maybe sparkled interest and awareness about the topic. Do you think that there is something else or any other perspective on that? Why now?
I know we also had the Me Too movement here in Sweden, and I feel just generally like our generation has a new perspective on life and how we see each other as human beings, or so I don't even know how to answer this question, but I just feel like, as you said, Sweden is a country that views itself as a very good country in every perspective, but so Sweden, like the politicians, like they don't admit the the things that are quite problematic here in Sweden.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I agree with you. There's more like awareness in this generation. But it's going really slowly, and it doesn't make any sense if companies and school and everything doesn't take diversity into consideration, because like the society is diverse, and if you're in a company, you either provide a product or a service, so you want to reach out to as many individuals as possible, like for the profit and just to get the product or the service out there. So if you have a more diverse company, then it will reflect better on your product or your service. So, and a diverse workplace, I would say, is more fun than a homogeneous workplace. So,
yeah, thank you for that. Gabriela?
No, I agree, and from the employer's perspective, we need to attract the right talents, and then you have to work strategically with being a diverse company and work with inclusion.
I also realized I heard everyone saying a little bit more about the foundation or association they're linked to, but Maria, I didn't give you the chance to talk about the Swedish chapter of the human rights.
Yeah.
So you can talk about that.
We work with human rights and all discrimination. To say discrimination ground? No? Yeah. In English. And I work with rights for persons with disability, the Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability, CRPD, and with economic, social, and cultural rights also as well. And we are working now on a parallel report with a lot of organizations, NGOs. Sweden has turned in the official report on how we live up to those rights, and we are now putting together an alternative or parallel report on the same issue.
Interesting. Yeah,
so that's what I work with, and we have, we were quite small, but we do a lot of stuff and try to work with all the human rights.
Yeah. And even now you mentioned the economical equality, and we did not even cover that here.
No.
So there's much more than I can think of. Yeah. Joe, you're taking the lead, or you just took the microphone? Yeah. Perfect. How are we doing time? One more question. This is tough because we have 2 minutes. One more question. It could become like half an hour.
Speed round.
Speed round.
Speed round.
No, I'm trying not to, but yeah. If maybe two of you have a suggestion of that we could bring directly with Ro to the equality office, give it out.
I could address the thing that Greg mentioned earlier about more knowledge about discrimination and people's experiences at KTH, and I can just say that that's something that we're aware of and that we're working on. We have Equality Office has suggested to the management that we get a new task for next year to sort of get more qualitative data about experiences of discrimination at KTH, because we have statistics, but that often is only just a number, but it doesn't necessarily say that, okay, but we see, for instance, among international PhD students that they have more experiences of discrimination based on ethnicity than on national PhD students, but we don't know how is that discrimination expressed, for instance. So that's something that we want to work more with, getting that kind of knowledge. But as you also mentioned about what kind of data we can collect, and it's difficult because in the EU we can't collect data on transgender identity or expression, or on ethnicity, or on disability, because those are considered to be sensitive data. So we can't necessarily get the data we need very easily to work proactively. So we have to find these solutions of how can we get that data in other ways, but by still following the law, which we obviously have to do. But there are lots of exciting things going on at KTH, but I also really want to encourage students to be proactive as well. As you said, you can do a lot if you just know that you can do a lot, and make demands. Ask for more content connected to diversity and equity from your lecturers, and talk to this administration at your school about how can you work with the environment and so on. Lots of things that you can do.
Perfect. Thank you.
And now I took up all the time, and you didn't have time to give me demands.
I put you on the spot, and you defended yourself without any, or maybe with some pressure, and I didn't want to make it put pressure. But yeah, thank you so much for this discussion, and I'm glad we could have this 45 minutes to talk about that, and maybe we can carry on after, but not here.
Yes, I'm so sorry to cut in, but thank you everyone for this discussion. I am just going to hand over the microphone to our live presentation moderators, because it's starting to get 4 o'clock. The first day of the fair is almost over, and yeah, I'm just going to hand it over.
Hi everyone, we want to thank you for listening to our live presentations, and also thank all of the companies that attended and your very interesting presentations as well.
Yeah, and we hope that we can see you all tomorrow with like a lot more companies coming in for new presentations. See you there tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining today.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Some sound effects.